it was one that said, "Don't let my depression make you think you're not a good partner," or something.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. Like, even like being in a regular relationship, sometimes when I see he's like stressed out, it makes me feel really bad if there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I feel the
And
same
I'm
way.
at the point where I'm like, and I've been really stressed out and I've been like really upset. And like I see him like what and he's like, what do you need me to do? What do you want me to do? Let's figure this. Like I can't stand seeing you like this. Like one time he's like, I cannot stand seeing you like this. I'm like, oh, that's really nice, but that's really in my head. I'm like, this. I didn't really say anything out loud, but in my head, I'm like, there's nothing you can do.
Bed, love,
Bed, love,
beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
I'm Yanni.
I'm Laurel.
and today's episode is episode 112, The Strain, Stress, and Strength Within, Relationships and Mental Illness.
That was a deep title, man.
Oh, thank you. Took a while to come up with that. If you have a topic you want us to explore or have any questions you want to ask, you can write us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text us at 201-862-8BED. That is 201-862-8233. And of course, if you did not hear from the top of the episode, we have a most special guest, but you already know who it is. It is Miss April Speaks.
Hey guys.
What's going on, girl?
April dropped her phone, and she has short arms because she cuts her bread the wrong way.
Damn. Shout out. Jeez.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
We're friends, man.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, don't worry, I have some of the conversation. I'm going to put that at the end of the episode. But we had a massive debate about Yanni versus Laurel.
We're Team Laurel.
Yeah, I'm Team Yanni. The shoe debate that I didn't even realize about.
It's like a Converse sneaker that's either pink and white.
Looks like a van.
Oh, true.
That's out of the way?
It might be a Vans.
No.
It's either aqua and gray or pink and white.
And the latest controversy that Jen had to pull out that has divided us, literally, or figuratively, I should say, how people cut their bread.
No, literally. I'm really upset about this.
How people cut their bread. So we found out that I cut my bread either diagonally or top to bottom.
Vertically.
And, vertically. And Jen,
I'm on that team.
Jen does the same way. But April does it horizontally.
Left to right.
Left to right.
Savage! Who does that?
But the thing is, April never. You've never known that people cut it the other way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because even when you go to like out to diners and restaurants, they give it to you
Diagonally.
I've had it in half.
What diners do you go to?
New Jersey.
Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've had it. Yeah, I've never seen it cut that top to bottom.
I'm so baffled.
That's crazy.
Anytime you ever go out to breakfast, take a picture of your toast.
Yeah.
You know what?
Take a picture of your toast, post it on our wall.
What? How do they cut it if? Now this is weird to me. How do they cut it if you? Because you usually get tomato soup, right? How do they cut it?
Grilled cheese? Diagonally.
Diagonal, okay. Because I thought for some reason that they would cut it her way.
You need that corner to dunk it.
No, but I thought they'd cut it her way to dunk it.
What's the difference if you cut it horizontally or vertically? Other than the fact that horizontally is complete savagery.
No, because you said diagonal. So diagonal, you'd be dunking in the point.
Yeah.
Where she would be dunking the
whole
brunt
piece
of it. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But when I make grilled cheese, I cut it diagonal. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Because you think you're supposed to. That's how they give it to
That's
you.
marketing. That's marketing. That's why. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. So.
Man, what's your daily dish? Besides that, you hear Yanni.
I would wonder if more men hear Yanni.
Yeah, I want to break. I would like to see the breakdown of that because there has to be a division. You know, like who hears that. But
yeah.
Write in if you hear Yanni or Laurel.
We're gonna test the people when we go upstairs.
Yeah. I don't have the comment in front of me, but somebody commented on YouTube about the passive aggressive episode, and they said that they are definitely passive. Oh, it was Happy Roach 1, and they said that they were passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive.
They were passive aggressive because they like to avoid conflict. So
Sure, that was my boyfriend.
I think that's how most people. Why most people?
Is Happy Roach a man?
what? Happy Roach is Happy Roach. I don't understand.
Let him live.
So yeah, he's a passive aggressive. Yeah, I forgot to write it, and it just popped into my head when you were talking about Daily Dish. So yeah.
So, everyone's like really upset about the story arc of Blackish.
Oh, about
But
why they're
everyone is
divorcing?
like just the people who watch Blackish. So if you don't watch Blackish on ABC, you should. Yeah. And if you do, then you know what I'm talking about.
You know, it's pretty funny because I stopped watching Blackish a long time ago.
It's a fucking fabulous show.
No, I know it is. Not because it was bad.
I don't know why it's on ABC, but whatever.
Not because it's bad. It's just because like I just fell off. I fell off a lot of shows. But when I saw the most recent episode about it, I was like, this is probably going to upset a lot of people.
People are like, oh, with the state of the way this country is, like we want to watch happy stuff.
Exactly.
But especially coming from this podcast, I think that like I think we talked about in different episodes that like a lot of people like base their feelings about relationships like on what they've seen on TV. Mm-hmm. Like people like you, Martini, who are in love with love. You know, you find that love.
Why? Yo, why don't you hate on your boy Jeffy, who literally said that's where he gets his relationship advice from shows.
Yeah, well,
why you gotta hate on me? But go ahead.
Look where Jeffy's at now. So
yeah, in a rut. But go ahead.
No, he's having a baby.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Oh, God. So anyway, I think that it's the only show that I've really seen where they show a family like in conflict and like what happens if a family separates.
Right.
I can't think of any show. Growing Pains, they were together. Brady Bunch, it was after the divorce.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it always ends up with, it always goes the storyline. They're together and then, a baby in season 4 or
like,
whatever.
Mom, I think it has a pretty decent storyline because they're like ex-alcoholics and drug users and strippers and they're trying to make ends meet, you know? And, you know, they also showed, like, in a funny way, how, like, history repeats itself, like how the grandma had drug and alcohol issues, and so did her daughter, and then her daughter even got pregnant, the daughter's daughter got pregnant at a young age. So stuff like that, I think, I like how TV is, like, kind of embracing that a little bit.
And Roseanne is blue collar, the blue collar family, and
Roseanne, like, I can't figure it out yet. Like, some things...
Well, the old version.
Well, yeah, but some things, like, in the new version, like, I feel like I like, and then some things I'm just like, I don't know about that. But, like, this week, sorry, spoiler alert, this week Roseanne's, like, addicted to her pain meds. So I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. No, but, yeah, I mean, Blackish, from what I know, spoiler alert, whatever, they have a kid, right? A new kid?
They have a new kid.
A baby, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they're doing that, too. They got a new kid, but then now they're, I don't know if they're divorcing
Some lady, I was like, oh, man. I was like, this would have been April. Some lady went in, and she, like, shouted out Dre, who's Anthony Anderson's character, and, like, you know that he's like a dick sometimes, but she shouted out like all the things that he does wrong. Mm-hmm. Like maybe she took it super personal. She was like, yo, he doesn't acknowledge his son, Andre. Like anything that like he jokes like he doesn't think because he's nerdy and stuff like that. Like he doesn't like necessarily accept him. And you know, if Andre's like,
I've seen that.
Okay. Like, oh, dad, let's do this. He's like, no. Yeah. Like the only time he really like paid any attention to Andre is when Andre wanted to wear like, you know, the fresh sneakers or whatever it was that week. And they said, like, anything Bo says, like, he dismisses her, like, and thinks he has a better idea. And I was like, oh, damn, somebody went in. And I was like, damn, but some of that stuff is, like, really true. Like, he's not, like, misogynistic, but, you know, sometimes he kind of, like, he always talks shit about, like, her being, like, part white or whatever the case may be, or, like, her family, talks shit about how crazy her family is. You know, the mom rags on her all the time.
Yeah.
Which was really nice because, like, in this episode, the mom came up to her and she was like, this is not going to break you. She's like, I've been trying to break you for 20 years. She's like, and I couldn't, so I know you're a strong woman. No, she said, I know you're a strong, mostly black woman.
Was that Jennifer Lewis?
Yeah, she's so funny.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she's great.
So I don't know. I mean, if you by the time this airs, you'll know that they have worked things out. But I also learned that what's his first name? Kendra? Is that his first name? Kendra Barris? Kenya Barris,
Yeah.
sorry. He's the writer producer, I guess. So
I think creator too.
Yeah, so it's kind of after his life. And what he said was that I guess him and his wife had got divorced at some point and then got back together many years later. So thank God they didn't drag the story arc out like over a whole season. Basically, in the last episode, they show that like they separated. They tried to do things in their own house. They weren't getting it done like right, but eventually they kind of got it right, you know. And then like one day she calls him up and like her father had passed away, and like he kind of comes running, and then he realized that like he just wanted to stay with her. Like, that's where he wanted to be. He wanted to be there for her at all times. And then they're back together. And then we'll see what happens next season. So, it was nice. I liked it. I thought it was good. And I think it's good to show things like that on TV so that kids don't believe that life is hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And Blackish has, like, a way of just, like, touching on things that, like, you know, most other programs are not going to.
Right.
So...
I don't want to see things that's just all happiness. Like, people want to see things they relate to as well.
Right.
Like, I relate to that when I was going through something.
Right.
Like, people don't want to, I mean, because that's not, I mean, TV isn't realistic, but it shouldn't be, like, all fairy tales either.
Right. And the only time you even get some of that is, like, on reality TV. And that sometimes is even scripted. So, like, you know, it's hard.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of the time
Yeah.
reality TV is.
Yeah.
Or they set it up to where...
Yeah.
So I feel like if you could do that, if somebody can create a program like that where, you know, you're bringing a little bit of like people's reality into it. Because, you know, some kids sitting there watching Blackish every Tuesday night or whatever, or Wednesday night, and they're like, their family's happy. Why isn't my family? You know, like, no, not all families are happy, and that's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's okay for that to happen. And then, like, you know, they do put the, like... PBS messages in there, like, doesn't matter what happens with us as a family, we're always all going to be family, you know. So they still have like their, like, you know, the more you know moments, but I just thought it was important, and everyone on the internet was like fucking balls deep and like, oh my god, you better not like make this continue until next season, I'm not watching. Bitch, and don't watch.
Right.
Show's still gonna go on.
Right.
Yeah.
They got renewed.
Or, you know, this is how life is. You know, like, how about if they did stay broken?
Right,
know?
if they did. I mean...
If they did, they did, you know?
I mean, I don't know where the show would go with that, but, I mean...
Yeah. And maybe part of that is why some of these kids, like, I see some kids at work, like, coming to get, like, psych evals and stuff, and it's almost like these kids are having nervous breakdowns because their parents got divorced.
Right.
And it's like, maybe because it's been drilled in these kids' head that your parents going to be together forever, and...
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you're always going to have mommy and daddy in the same house, and that's not realistic. You probably go to, you know, live in Paramus and Ridgewood and go to school with a bunch of kids who parents are together, and you don't want to be the one with the divorced parents.
Right. But also at the same time, you shouldn't have them think that one of the parents has one foot in, one foot out either.
No.
You know?
I mean...
Well, yeah, I think you're either going to sit them down and say, Dad's leaving, or Mom's leaving, or don't sit them down at all. Like, decide what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I've never been in this situation like where my relationship, I had to think about another small person about like whether or not to stay in the relationship. But I can see why that's sometimes a deciding factor. But like even when I work with families and like, you know, the woman is like being verbally abused or whatever, and you could tell that like she's like running to the ground, like that's going to eventually have effect on the kids. Yeah. So like I always tell them like, listen, the whole I have to stay with him for the kids like isn't going to really benefit them in the long time if like you're letting him like degrade you and stuff like this in your home in front of your kids.
Yeah, I was just
and a
gonna
lot
say
of times
that, yeah.
kids like act out because they see like the parents fighting. So sometimes it's like, you know what, me and daddy aren't like being like we aren't that friendly anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, daddy's gonna go live down the street and you can see him on the weekends or he'll come pick you up after school. Kids adjust. I mean, I don't know.
I think it's about after the separation how y'all act too.
Yeah.
Because I think some divorce parents, they keep bickering. They keep with the back and forth. The kid gets put in the middle. Will tell your father. Will tell your mother.
I don't know if it was like a meme or something. I saw some girl who just like graduated or something, and then all her parents and her step parents were like wearing shirts that said like
Oh,
mom,
I saw
dad,
that. Yeah.
stepmom, stepdad.
Yeah.
And like that's how you what is it? It's not called co-parent. What is it called?
Blended family.
Blended
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blended, yeah.
I was like, that's nice.
Because I think that's what really does it. When after the parents separate, it's like you should try to keep your kids' routine, keep their life kind of the same. But when you continue with the nastiness, now the kids stressed out and they're gonna start acting out. They're gonna be angry and start acting out.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome over here to talk about. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up Blackish because I enjoyed it and everyone on the internet was mad.
What kind of couples mental illness?
Yeah.
Kids
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
jacking up your kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Verbal abuse leading to depression and anxiety.
Yeah. All that.
Homicide.
That's it. Any that's all the daily dish or whatever.
I don't know. I don't know where I left off last time with my life, but
it was more. I don't think it was necessarily a to be continued, but you said that you were just gonna touch upon the. I was gonna say celibacy, the pregnancy thing.
celibacy is right now.
But that was it. But you
the odds
said,
are not good. The odds are not in my favor,
Mhm.
as per the doctors. The lady's like, I don't want to lie to you. I was like, I don't want you to.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks. She offered like me like an option of using somebody else's egg, but I personally find that to be creepy. No offense to anybody who's done it. I just don't know that. She's like, we can just like find a person that looks just like you. There was this girl in high school that looked just like me. They used to call us by each other's names. They're like, Nicole. I'm like, no, I'm Jen. She didn't really look just like me. She was short, like a little chunky, and she had curly black hair. And she had a pissy ass attitude. She really should have been my best friend, but she didn't like the people called her Jen. It really pissed her off. Fuck you, Nicole. So I'd use her egg now. So yeah, basically they said like it wasn't really like a thing, and then like I think my boyfriend took it a lot better than I did. I was really proud of him. I thought he was gonna be like, oh, like this sucks, yeah. But
it's still not a no. There's still
no. It's like a no. It's a solid no. Like, listen, if I had like buku bucks and I wanted to go to like a hospital somewhere out of state, they might be able to take. There's a whole bunch of mights. They might be able to find eggs. They might be able to take them out. They might be able to make an embryo. And if they make an embryo, they might be able to freeze it. And then if they freeze it, they might be able to put it in somebody else. And then it might stick or it might not. And the baby might grow or it might not. There's a whole lot of like
a whole lot of mites, but
Yeah.
I'm not hearing those.
No. But this is all out of pocket expenses.
Oh, so okay, so that's so no, but that's what I mean. Like it's not
And-
a no. It's just that you guys are like we're good.
And it's like the first time you hear no, you're like, oh, that sucks. And then your whole like emotional being happens. I don't want to go through all that to hear no again.
Right.
And I know maybe that sounds like a little selfish, but that's like a lot. And it's a lot of toll on my body. Like I have to go under anesthesia. I have to take heart. It's only happening to me.
Yeah.
The boy gets to like jizz in a cup and then, you know.
But he's going through it too.
No, I understand that.
But I understand
know
your thing. Yes, you are physically going through it, but he's
Right.
emotionally going through it. It's his child as well. But
I
yes.
understand that. But that's the thing. I don't want him to have to hear no again either.
Yeah.
So he said he would start thinking about adoption. And his mom was very supportive,
Look at that.
oddly enough.
You see? So that's good.
His mom offered to carry a baby for us. That was awkward.
No, but I'm just
But
saying
she
that's
was nice.
That's good because you were afraid, the relationship might be over. But he's like,
No,
okay.
I was actually never afraid of that. I was just afraid he was gonna be like so disappointed that he'd like fall into this like deep depression that I wouldn't be able to get him out of.
Yeah.
But he's happy playing God of War. Maybe that's masking it. Who knows? But that's where we are.
All right.
I have God babies, damn it. I have enough.
No, but this is good. You guys are still going strong, so that's good.
They're fine.
He's not gonna go through that
Deep depression.
deep depression.
We'll see what happens.
You know what I mean?
No, I think he's okay. I think he's gonna start thinking about things, and we've come up with a plan to kick out the roommate. So
Okay.
In case you didn't know.
he doesn't.
But I mean, it's really awesome to get a kid that like maybe feels like nobody wants them.
Yeah.
Like, and like love that kid and take it into your home as your own and
Yeah.
give it a family, and that's like
Ever
really
since I was
awesome.
little, I've always said, "Oh, I want to adopt. I want to adopt. I want to adopt." And like people who've known me a long time, like remind me of that. They're like, "You always wanted to adopt," and I was like, "Yeah," but then I had this like idea that like, wait, maybe it could look like us, and that'd be cute. And then
You don't think that would play with your minds?
what?
Trying to find a child that looks like you, even though it's not.
No. I'm saying like, I always wanted to adopt
Right.
until like I found someone who would actually want to procreate with.
Oh.
And then I found someone who I'd actually want to procreate with, and I was like, oh, that might be a good idea. And then the doctors were like, no. I was like, fuck, okay.
They didn't say no, they said might.
No, they pretty
Y'all
much
are
said
saying
no.
no.
She said she can't tell anybody no. She's like, I tell everyone if they want, they could try once, but I would never recommend trying more than once.
Right.
But for me to try once will cost like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and I could buy a house.
Or have a wedding.
Or get a Tesla X. Hashtag priorities. That sounds really fucked up, but
Yeah, I was like, car baby. But
I
I
was thinking
get
more
it.
like car wedding. But
Because it would be different if all that was going and it was like a 95% chance.
Right.
even if it was
Absolutely.
over 50, I would like consider it.
Yeah.
Right.
But like
it's
all
not.
this is happening, and it's like there's a good chance this 50 grand is just
Like if
getting
you
thrown out the window.
if you look at their charts, like they tell you, like people in my age group, I'm gonna be 40 next year, just so we know, that their odds are not that great. Some people like have great eggs, awesome. Like I was talking to my friend the other day, she's like 42, I think she is, and she was like, I think they said my eggs are good. I'm like, well, God bless you then, but apparently I have the skin of a 16-year-old and the ovaries of a 90-year-old, so it's not gonna happen.
Right. All right.
But it's okay. The thought of getting a needle in my vagina wasn't that exciting anyway. So, Jasmine came, Jasmine left.
Yeah, shout out to Jasmine, who's on the show.
Anything else exciting happening? Can't think so. I don't think so. Trying to figure out what to do with my summer. But hurricanes are probably coming, so keeps it very limited.
Yeah. Who thought we would get Florida's hurricane season up here? It's pretty crazy.
It's happening. We had a tsunami and a hurricane yesterday. Well, no.
It was
A
tornado.
tornado.
Yeah. Insane.
Are you still going to Montreal?
Yeah, so far.
Nice.
You're going to want to move there.
Family vacation?
Yeah.
If you decide to move there, let me know. I'll buy the house next door. You just go there and you're like, it's nice here. Like, it's peaceful. Like, everyone seems to like each other.
Until the winter comes, and you're like, you know what?
That's the first thing I always hear about Canada. It's clean, it's peaceful.
It is.
People are friendly.
It's super clean.
Yeah. Like I heard like littering is like a very large fine, and they enforce it.
Yeah.
It's not like here where they say don't litter, it's $250. Nobody says anything. Throw a whole garbage bag out the window, nobody says anything.
Yeah. You freaking litter up there. You see the barbecue lady up there.
What barbecue lady?
April knows what I mean.
The lady that
that lady.
snitched on them people at the park.
Oh, that barbecue lady. That was a terrible situation, but the memes are hysterical.
Yeah. Oh man.
I think getting memed and these videos going viral of these people, like I feel like if it doesn't make you stop and think twice, you're probably really like off your rocker. Like because I would be like, let me mind my business because I don't want somebody recording me and I'm going viral for not minding my business. Like like that. I would think that. Like I'd be like, let me leave them black people alone. If I be all over Facebook.
You're on point though. That guy who was like going off on people, like he looked like he has like a pretty high paying job, and if he don't get fired tomorrow,
Somebody commented in my when I shared the video that he's a lawyer.
Wait, which one? Which video
There was
you
a
talking about?
guy in a place called Fresh Kitchen. I guess it's like a place where you go get food.
Yes.
And he started an employee was speaking Spanish to a customer. Then he started ranting and raving about them speaking Spanish, and they shouldn't be speaking it. This is America. They're in my country. And he was like, they're probably undocumented. I'm calling ICE. I pay their welfare, and I'm like, how you paying their welfare? They're at work.
They're at work.
They're at work. They're not obviously not on welfare. Like,
Yeah.
And
Wow.
if she not at work, this one here in here buying food, she probably don't have food stamps. Like this lady
Yeah.
probably buying her lunch to go back to work.
Yeah.
So he was just in there ranting and raving, and he was like, "I'm
Crazy.
calling ICE on you. Y'all probably all undocumented." I'm like, probably not working in Fresh Kitchen.
Right.
Like, no offense to nobody, but this ain't like a landscaping business.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is Fresh Kitchen. I'm sure they had to have some kind of
Something.
work documents to be in here.
Right.
It almost looked like a little Whole Foods or something.
Right. Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was just going all off.
You better be fired tomorrow.
I'm like, I hope everybody he knows just like, why? Like I didn't, or somebody's like, I thought you were a nice guy. I was wrong.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Somebody gonna tell
Girlfriend
him to his
dumped him.
face.
It's-
Like I want him to go to his office and all the secretaries, paralegals, everybody just like, just shame him on out.
That's ridiculous.
Anything exciting happening in your life, Martini?
Whoa. Like there's too much. There's too much going on. Nah, this is just
Do tell.
no, not like that. It's yeah, it's never gonna be like that. Sorry. No, just I don't know what's going on in my family, but there's just a lot of deaths going on.
Oh, I'm sorry. That
So,
sucks.
I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, my uncle passed away a couple days ago, and also my
Is he in the States or no?
yeah,
Okay.
and my cousin's like dad passed away 2 days after. So it's just like
Isn't your cousin's dad your uncle? I'm just a little confused.
no, it's no, not it. It's weird, but
Okay. All right.
nah,
All right.
his father's not my uncle. So
Sure. Okay.
he's not.
No, okay. I believe you. I was just doing like the familiar math. in my head.
yeah.
Like cousin.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I mean, we
That
all know that
sucks.
death comes in threes. So I'm just like, yo, we're all just like, who's like who's coming up, But yeah, just crazy.
I don't know if I believe that.
Death comes in threes. So I've
Yeah.
seen it.
I mean, I don't know. 2016 was a bad year, or was that 2017?
Oh, when what all the celebrities were just.
Yeah, dropping.
I think it was.
16?
I think it was 6. Yeah, it might have been 17.
17,
It was
maybe.
either. It was definitely one of those 16 or 17. I think maybe 16.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry. That's
Yeah.
not exciting.
But yeah, I don't know. A lot of crazy stuff. More fights with my parents, which solidifies even more so that I have to peace out. So I'm trying to make that happen.
Do you have like a goal set for yourself?
I mean, I've always had a goal.
Why don't you just move in with Randy?
No.
Any particular reason?
I just don't think we'd get along.
Yeah, but you guys get along like when
No.
you go out to dinner.
No, we don't.
Okay. The secret lives of Martini and Randy.
So nah, I don't think would you be able to live with any of your brothers?
I mean, not Brad, but
Exactly. So there you
Jay.
go.
I could live with Jay. Jay
He-
lived with me for like a
So
week.
so he's my Brad. So
I'm pretty sure it's not on crack.
no, I'm just saying no, we would not get along. So
I'll take your word for it. What about like Amy or Bridget?
what? No.
You should really have a girl roommate.
Those people need roommates.
Right?
She had two people like lined up.
Do those people need roommates? Not really. They don't. Maybe they don't know.
They're good.
I mean,
you know?
economically, it would work out better for you to have a roommate.
They're fine.
You know who's gonna need a roommate soon?
No, I'm alright, thanks.
Now that's creepy. call Amy and
No, they're fine. They're fine with
Their living situation.
their living situation. Well, no, actually no. Bridget definitely wants to move out, but
There you go.
move
Boom.
out of her parents' house.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because she used to be by herself. But
And she had gotten used to that. Then she had to go back home. You
because
never
the job,
not get.
right? Because the job situation.
You don't get used to
so-
being back home. You
yeah.
No.
So she's
Yeah.
like, I need to get out. So I was like, I
That
feel
only
you.
lasted for like a month with me. My mom was like, "Where are you going? Who's coming here?" I'm like, "Fuck this." Stack. As soon as I got my income tax checks, I was like, "I'm going to buy this little apartment in Bloomfield. I don't care that it only has a half a closet. I'll make it work."
Would you consider a roommate, or you'd rather live alone?
I mean, definitely I would live alone, but I don't think I would rule out a roommate.
Oh, okay.
If you get a 2-bedroom, it's still kind of like living alone because sometimes like people really do their own thing and like just go to their rooms and like sometimes it's nice just to have dinner with or
Yeah.
as long as you can find someone like you can vibe well with, not like my gay porn star roommate Angel. Shout out to Angel. I think he's straight now. Maybe not. I don't know. He has a kid.
All right.
I stalk him on Instagram. Just want to make sure he's not in the States.
So he can find you? Like, I don't... like, what do you mean? Why'd you say it like that?
It's really crazy.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of crazy, are you done?
Well, no. Well, speaking of adult-themed things,
Oh.
I was watching this adult-themed reality show called Triple Play. It was very interesting, and I think I want to have a episode about that. Like polyamory or something like that. But it was the premise is that
What channel's it on?
Playboy channel.
Okay, Martini.
It's adult themed.
I didn't know you were subscribing.
I wasn't. I'm not subscribed to the Playboy channel. I found it. But
Sure.
it's not two couples, a couple wanting to have a third to spice up the relationship, and I was more interested in the reasons why, because each of them had like a different reason. Like one couple, the female was like, "I'm used to have." She said, "What she say?" She said, "I've had as much female partners as I've had male partners, and I don't want to being in this relationship. I don't want that side of me to stop because they're married."
Okay.
And she's like, "I don't want that side of me to stop, so I feel that I want to introduce this into this relationship and like see how it goes." And I guess, how the episode was going, she said, if it goes well, we'll see if we can continue it, and if not, then no. Mm-hmm. So it was just really interesting because it's in it.
Did you say it was a game show?
No, it's not. No, it's a reality show, just
Oh.
like whatever, like Married at First Sight,
right.
or something like that. But that's what's so interesting about it, because it's not like it's a porno. It's like, how maybe, let's say you're watching whatever any reality show like X on the Beach or Married at First Sight. When they take their person to the room and then they close the door and then
Right.
okay, you assume that, all right, they had sex or whatever. Nah, they don't close the door on this. you just see them
So it is like
having
a porno.
sex. No, but it's not like that though, because it's still
Can you detect jealousy in
it's not gratuitous. It's the way that it's shot or whatever. It's whatever. Yeah, it's not gratuitous like a porno. So
It was like night cam action.
no, it's not night cam. It's daytime, and they're just going at it, and
Everyone
so
has threesomes during the day.
they'll what?
I said everyone has threesomes during the day.
So they'll go on this site, and they'll either have a handler or something to find a third for them that for their specifications, whatever their
Okay.
fantasies are, and they got to be careful. They have their boundaries and all that stuff, and then they meet them at a diner or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, should we go back now?" And whatever, and they go back, they have sex, and then after they're like, "Oh, like this was a very
So it's
interesting
not
experience,
like swinging.
whatever."
It's not like it's like a group thing.
What do you mean?
Like it's not like, oh, I just want to try a girl, so you wait over there.
Oh no,
It's like
no.
we're all gonna do
No.
this.
It's not cucking. No, cuckolding. It's not that.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So and one other couple was like, she like lived in like, I don't know, like Missouri or Kansas, where it's very conservative, and she was like, I always felt that I wanted to like branch out and not be so sheltered anymore, like sexually. And her man has had threesomes in the past, so he's like, well, we can do this if you like. And she's like, all right, well, let's see how it is. And same thing ensues, whatever. So she's free now and she likes it. So I was like, oh snap, like that's the different variations of reasons was interesting. I was like, well,
Okay.
so.
It's all fun and games. So you come home and the third person is there. Like, whoa! When y'all set this up?
When y'all set this up?
And who the fuck drank my soda?
Yeah. But a good point that both of you bring up, because that's like one of the first things that they talk about is like jealousy.
Right.
Like is that gonna happen? Like, oh, you think it's gonna be weird that you see whatever, and like some of the girls are like, no, like I want to see how it is you having sex with somebody else, or I have another girl in front of me, and
I'm good.
and they're like, oh, we have this like great foundation, blah blah blah, and I mean, all the things go well. So
I wonder if they're mentally ill.
whoa.
Sorry, that's me judging. They may not be. They may just be a lot more open than other people.
Right.
Not for me though. I mean, we could do a show about it. I don't know anything about it. I don't share well with others.
Right.
Kind of greedy.
Right.
Anywho. So, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's
May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
I just found that out. I got an email from my boss.
Where was this email last year?
Yeah, it's weird because I wanted to double and triple check, because some people have said that November is the Mental Awareness Month. I was like, which one is it, May or November? So
The problem is
I'm
that
saying
mental
May.
health awareness is so vast right now.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck it, they need 2 months. I don't know. Or it's like Suicide Prevention Month or
Right.
whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So I know this was weighing heavy on your head for a while now. So why did you want to have this episode?
I don't remember now.
All right. So
I think because like one reason was like I feel like there's been like a lot of like domestic violence in the news. Maybe not like recently, but like at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at the time, one of the times I was thinking about it. And I mean, most things that happen are like somehow tied to mental illness. And I do think that we would be dismissive not to speak about it. And I don't remember why exactly, but the domestic violence thing I was thinking about a lot today. Because like, I know of one situation like offhand, like of people who I know where a woman has killed a man.
Wow.
But a lot of times, like, women are like pretty much just getting murdered by men of absolute rage. Oh, I think that's what it was. There was a girl in Bloomfield recently, Montclair, sorry, who was recently like stabbed to death by her boyfriend. Just because he was mad about some shit.
She was 20.
She was 20.
Damn.
Like, it's happening to kids, like, to women now, or even probably men, like, younger and younger. But, like, there was a story of a woman in Midland Park who had a restraining order against her ex-husband, ex-boyfriend. And he was, like, an ex-cop or something. And she was, like, on the phone with someone. And her friend was, like, she was on the phone with her friend. And her friend was, like, on another phone trying to call 911. And even though she had a restraining order, the guy came to her driveway. She was like sitting in the driveway in the car talking, which some of us all do, and my neighbor does all the time. And he just came up and slit her throat in the middle of the driveway.
Yo.
And then he like jumped in front of a train in New York City, and then he tried to sue the city for something. I don't remember what.
What? He tried to kill himself?
He tried to kill himself. He didn't die, and then
A train hit him and he didn't die?
You know how like the train pulls into the subway?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was coming in like full force. I don't know the exact story.
Oh
but
my
he
God.
didn't die. But I think he's paralyzed. You know the story or no?
I remember.
Yeah, and I think he tried suing the thing. But they put him in Bellevue because he's absolutely batshit crazy. And I understand batshit crazy is not a nice word to use. But April and I have been doing this long enough.
We use the word crazy loosely.
Right.
Like you out of control.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that we're,
A spade's a spade.
trivializing mental illness, but
Yeah.
Right.
we know that there's, DSM-4 terms and all
Right.
that, but
Mm-hmm.
crazy is, we're going to use that loosely here. We're not here to be politically correct. Your ass is
Yeah.
crazy. You walk up to somebody, slit their throat.
Right,
jump
and
in front
then
of a train and
right,
sue the city.
yeah, that's something. Yeah,
But mental illness isn't just that. Like mental illness is also depression. Mental illness is anxiety. Mental illness is
Gambling addiction.
gambling, alcoholism,
and
drug use.
that's what I had to learn as well because well, I guess we can blame the news or whatever, or just me being ignorant or naive. Is that mental illness is always attached to crazy. Like when I remember when the theater shootings were happening. You know, when the Dark Knight Returns happened, and that guy who had like the purple and orange hair, you know, just shot up everybody. People like, oh, he's crazy, and it's like, oh no, he's mentally ill. We need more mental illness awareness and all that stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, that's synonymous with being crazy, and it's not. So while I was doing like research, people with like, wait, hold on, ADHD. That's a mental illness. I didn't even know that. I was like,
it has a DSM diagnosis. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, like, all right, and
because it make it when things like that happen in the news, it makes it seem like all mentally ill people are capable of grabbing a gun and killing.
Yeah,
and and that's not true. There's a lot of mentally ill people out there that are not violent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that it is a very vast range, and I do think that like when it comes to dating, sometimes since a lot of women think that they could fix people, fix men, I think they don't really always know what they're signing up for, and I think it's something that has to be taken like very seriously, and I think you have to know what your personal boundaries are, like. I can deal with depression, but I can't deal with a manic depressive person. And I don't think I could deal with someone who's bipolar. I think I've dated a few of them. I think we all know who they are.
A little borderline.
Yeah.
A little narcissistic here and there. But people too, I mean, there's a difference too between if you 1 week you're in the bed covered up with the lights off for the whole week, and then next week you get up, you're okay. And a couple of weeks later, you're back under the cover with the lights off. Or some people just stress themselves out and have a little, I don't want to say little, but stress themselves out to the point where it's like, I'm depressed because all these bills are piling up. I'm depressed because I, got all this stuff going on, all these things is going on in my life, and I feel like I can't handle it.
Right. There's a difference between...
That could lead to a depression that... It seems like you're more likely to come out of than just like 24/7 hopelessness.
Right.
Like, like you can more understand like, okay, I can, deal with somebody who kind of gets depressed sometimes when life gets overwhelming. Yeah. As opposed to some people just always negative and they just can't see the light at all. Like it could be sunny out, it's dark to them. It doesn't matter what's going on.
I don't know why it wasn't a red flag for me, but Brooklyn had told me before that he's like, I'm surprised you haven't found me dead in the bathroom yet. I was like,
that's the American Red Cross flag. That's the Canadian flag.
I think I've told you about like many flags that he's given me, but that was his mental health flag.
United Nations.
Oh no, that was one of them, but that was only after we all had our moments of weakness, ladies. But only after we were talking about, I don't know if April was there. I was telling him about something me and April did, and I was like, oh my God, this lady at work today told us she was hearing voices. And he said to me with a dead straight face, he was like, doesn't everyone? I was like, no. No, not everybody does that. Do you?
Like, dead on the bathroom floor. Do you have a plan?
Like, do you have a plan? Do I have to screen you? Yeah. I know this girl who has what she has told me her psychiatrist diagnosed as relationship OCD. And every time she's in a relationship, she just constantly like fears the worst. And like anytime her boyfriend tells her something, like let's say, I think she said like he's into like a certain kind of music, and she thinks that the music is like very like sexually, like not. It was like a provocative type of music towards women and like sexualizes women, and she kind of obsesses over it to the point where she like causes fights with him because she literally can't help like the feelings and the thoughts that she's thinking. Like that's what OCD is. Like it's just like a flooding and mixed with like anxiety and everything else, but it's like a flooding of like thoughts and ideas that you really can't stop.
So she doesn't want to. She doesn't want him to listen to it, or
No, that she doesn't like that he likes it. Like, and she'll ask him like, "Oh, do you think those women are prettier than me? Like, why do you like those women? Do you like the clothes that they're wearing?"
That way, okay.
Like, I think he was talking about like anime one day, and she's like, "Anime is very sexualized." Like, and I'm like,
everything is sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I'm like, I don't know if you want like a church boy. Like, I don't know what you're looking for. Like,
right.
And what is gonna make her stop? But for him to say, "Fine, I won't look at it. I won't listen to it. I won't."
Right.
That's the only thing. It's basically saying, "I don't want you to listen to it. I don't want you to look at it," because that's the only thing that
I don't think that would help. I think that like anything
all.
that comes, like there's gonna be something.
Right for that specific thing.
Right.
She'll leave that alone. But soon as something else,
So like that's a lot. I mean, I know people who have like dealt with people who have like boyfriends who have like addiction problems, and like having a family member who has an addiction problem. Like, I couldn't date somebody like that. That's just my personal choice. And I know people choose to be in those relationships, but like you have to understand that like somebody else's mental illness sometimes kind of like takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
And then like that person starts to like slowly drown and become destroyed. And like one of the things I did read in one of the articles, it was like dating someone with mental illness, they were like, be patient, no, it's not your fault, and to get therapy yourself. Like, even if that person's not getting therapy, like to go so you can like hash it out,
and also to not don't think that person is going to fit all your needs,
right?
Because they're not.
Don't think that about nobody.
Right.
And the thing is too, it seems like, you know, the people I've seen with it's like it's a lot of giving. You're not getting anything back.
Yes.
Right.
Because it's all, did you take your medicine? He didn't take his medicine. He's gonna flip out. I gotta screen him. He's in the ER. He's getting admitted. It's always something.
Right.
And usually it revolves around the person not wanting to take their medicine, or they'll take it for a certain period of time and then stop taking it. And here comes the cycle over and over.
And you're going to start becoming, it's like you're going to stop being their honey and be their helper now. You know what I mean? And like, you don't want that. Like, you don't want to feel like you're taking care of a patient as opposed to taking care of your partner.
Yeah, I think like the team effort of a relationship kind of goes out the window. I mean, listen, everybody has their days. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's when the other person steps up. You know, but like
every day,
if it's that person's having their day every day, like when do you get to have your day?
You don't, and that's when your stuff starts breaking down.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, and what I found interesting is I was watching the Dangerous Son documentary again today on HBO, and the guy was like explaining that like, before, I guess, like when the government funded mental illness treatment, like as soon as somebody showed any kind of signs of like probably like more like schizophrenia and stuff like that, like they would hospitalize them and they'd keep them in the hospital and they would treat them to kind of keep them stable. And like now we don't do that. We want to treat everybody in the community, which is what me and April used to do. Like just run out into the community and like, you know, you think you live in this like prestigious little town, you know, you don't know what's lurking behind some of those doors. And now we treat people in the community, but like our program was Medicaid funded, so there's not like really money going into it to like keep these people stable. And part of what people don't understand is it's your responsibility to keep yourself stable.
Yeah.
So if you are mentally ill and it's your responsibility to keep yourself stable, and you're not. You're still out there on Plenty of Fish and OkCupid and Bumblebee and Coffee Meets Bagel and looking for love.
Right.
There should be an app how to spot them. And I don't want to like deter people from dating people with mental illness, because everyone deserves love, and you know sometimes people with mental illness like find each other and they work, but you know, I think that to a degree, you have to know like how much you're willing to take on.
Absolutely.
Because it's a lot.
Or at least if you're gonna be in a relationship, at least, you know, look at whether or not the person, like how long they've been stable and how serious they are about remaining stable and staying. Like what steps are they taking to stay stable.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you meet somebody and they're all over the place, like you signed up for it.
Right.
Like I can see if you said, no, when I met him, he was working, he was doing good. He told me he was on medication. I saw him taking it every day. He was, you know,
doing
his mood was stable. I can see if you like, all right, I gave him a chance in that instance. I could understand that. But like if you meet somebody and they spending their rent money in the casino or they're running around like a chicken without a head, like you knew he was manic when you met him. You met him manic. Like you met this person with a gambling addiction. You met this person shooting up or popping pills. Like you met them like that. So
and I think the thing that people, not that they forget, but like mental illness does not discriminate. Like you can be balling out of control, broke, green, purple, orange. Like it doesn't matter.
Super rich.
Right.
Nice neighborhood, nice schools, rich parents. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it needs to be taken seriously as well, because I don't know if you saw in the thing about Shad Moss, aka Bow Wow. You know,
he needs to be screened.
He wanted he was gonna commit suicide. Not too long ago. Well, no, actually, it was a long time ago.
Is it because somebody shouted him out about the plane thing?
No. That was before that. Like he said, like in his during like his third album, like after his third album, which was, I don't know how long ago, but like, he said like he was done. He wanted to like off himself.
I saw he like posted something like, "Life isn't worth living," or "I don't want to be in this life anymore."
Yeah, all this stuff, and he was like, he doesn't know what he wants to do, blah blah blah, and his newest album, I don't know if it came out yet or it's coming out, but it's called Odysseus, which is suicide backwards, and people are like, yo, what the fuck, like what's going on? He's like, nah. I was like, what did he say? He said the new album's dedicated to name my album Odysseus. He tweeted, it's suicide backwards. The meaning means to bring yourself back from something. The name represents relentlessness, coming back for more even after death. Left the old me and woke up to a new me. So that's what he was talking about on the Breakfast Club. Well, that's what he tweeted. But he went on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about how like he didn't know like what to do with himself. He's like, yeah, I've been around the world and blah 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 and all this stuff, and I guess it's not bringing him, I guess, joy anymore or whatever. And the thing is, I don't know if he was necessarily crying for help because I didn't view the interview myself. But as soon as people heard that, they were clowning him. And they were just like, oh, this guy says, like, no, they said like, oh, people commit suicide for like lesser reasons and all this stuff, but this guy wanted to commit suicide because he's rich and he doesn't know what to do anymore since he's quote unquote done everything. It's like, yo, this guy's whack and all that stuff. And I can understand that's very easy for us to clown Bow Wow, Shad Moss, whatever. Especially after people did that whole Bow Wow challenge. Did you hear about that? The Bow Wow challenge? Yeah.
What was that?
I heard some of his breakfast.
What was the Bow Wow challenge?
Yeah.
What was the thing that you were talking about? How he Instagrammed the photo of like a private jet and like a limousine, whatever, and then like he said, yeah, I'm going to wherever, I don't know, let's say Europe. It's like
and then someone took a picture of him on the plane.
Yeah, someone was like, this dude is on my plane. Like, what is he talking about?
It's
so
like, how well can you like try to trick somebody?
Yeah,
and how well can you lie?
Yeah, and that was the whole challenge, and everybody was just clowning him. And he tried to like cover it up. I was like, no, it's for a show, but that show never appeared or whatever. So I don't know what he was doing it for, but yeah, I think that's another thing too. Even though again, it's easy to clown Bow Wow or somebody in that position, but at the same time, you don't know what he's going through, So right. I don't think you should necessarily clown on him. You should be like, maybe he does need help. Who knows?
And I seriously doubt he's rich.
No,
I seriously would doubt that.
Mm-hmm. Why is that? You don't think he got a little money?
I mean, I think he probably gets royalties,
right?
But like when do you hear him on the like? It's not like he has any classics to the point where it's like you'll still hear Biggie, Juicy, and Hypnotize, and More Money, More Problems. Like you could
That's
maybe
true.
hear
I
that
don't even
every
remember what his
day.
song was.
Yeah,
right. Like you hear those kind of songs every day.
Yeah.
But that
like,
I can
Lil
understand
Bow
why
Wow,
that.
they never play him on the radio.
No,
I can understand why that would cause a depression.
But
Think about where you came from as a kid. Like,
right, yeah.
You know, they were coming into your house for cribs and everything else. And no one really cares who you are.
Yeah.
You had a moment of spotlight shine when you were trying to marry Erica Mena, and that didn't happen because, well, Erica Mena is a lesbian. But
or a lesbian.
Or a lesbian.
Add it to the list.
So, but I mean, I get it. Like, you're like very relevant, and then you're not. A lot of comedians are depressed.
And child stars.
And child stars, yeah.
What's it called? And again, we don't know because they mask it so well. What's his face? Robin Williams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude hung himself. Who would have known? Like, because he's the most, I don't want to say like manic as like bad, but you know, he's always on. You know, so that's how we masked his depression. Like, he's always on. But I started reading things recently about him, how he would just like forget his lines, and he'd be so depressed that he wasn't getting it as well as he used to. And I was just like, damn, like nobody knew this.
The problem is, and I don't want to like misspeak, but there are like too many facets of mental illness. So there's a facet of mental illness where you have diagnosis like schizophrenia and, you know, schizoaffective disorder, maybe multiple personality. People are still getting that apparently. Or borderline. Some of those things become dangerous in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like April said, like if you're taking medicine and you're being like vigilant about it and you're treated, then you may not notice them. But I think that some of those things, if untreated, can get dangerous. And I think that's where, you know, some of our school shooters, I mean, yes, gun control is an issue. I'm not taking that away from anybody. But, like, it takes a certain person to, like, come up with a master plan and want to, like, kill people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like David Koresh and all them. David Koresh, was he the one? David Koresh was the bomber, right?
No, wasn't that the Waco? No?
Waco, yeah. David Koresh was along the lines of Jim Jones. He wanted everyone to be in love with him. Women fell for him. And he, like, brainwashed them into believing some shit, and then everyone drank the Kool-Aid.
Did you say Jim Jones?
Yeah.
Like the rapper?
No.
There was a guy named Jim Jones who, like, had a cult.
Did you ever hear the phrase, don't drink the Kool-Aid?
All right.
Like, fall for the...
Well, yeah, that, yeah. Well,
that's
yeah,
what
that.
It means. That's where it came from.
He literally gave him Kool-Aid. This is like my favorite, like pop culture phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he told them all about come with me to Ghana, right? Guyana or Ghana?
I don't remember.
I always fuck them up. When's enough?
Maybe Guyana.
No, it was Guyana, South America.
Mm-hmm.
Come with me to Guyana, and we're gonna praise Jesus, and we're gonna be one big family. And women like left, and they went with him. It's a really good movie, by the way. The guy from Reading Rainbow's in it.
LeVar Burton.
So he's in it. Come with me to Guyana. Blah 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 blah. Brainwash all these women to believe things. Was having sex with everyone. Same thing with the guy from Waco. And then he wanted to like do mass genocide. So he like made some Kool-Aid with poison and made everyone drink it. Like, obviously, it's a little bit different than a relationship. But the point of the matter is that sometimes people who have some of these larger, grandiose diagnoses can be a little bit more dangerous. And I think that's one side of it. And I think there's a side of it where people have, like, PTSD, depression, and anxiety.
Right.
Where, you know, which is a typical thing.
It's like it's more common.
Right, it's more common
and more treatable.
And it's treatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's like some things that are more manageable to deal with in a relationship, you know, than...
Somebody have anxiety. You know, you can say, okay, remember when your therapist said take 10 deep breaths and write in your journal. And that's more manageable than somebody telling you these voices are telling me to cut your head off.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that's more
But I love him. I want to stay.
Even narcissistic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder, everything that goes wrong in a relationship is going to be your fault. Nothing you say is right. It is not going to stop.
Right.
That is how they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're right. You're wrong. It's your fault. You missing out on them. They're God's gift to the world. They're not going to say it in those words, but that's how they're going to present themselves.
Yeah.
And they
Sounds
don't
like
have
a super ghoster.
They don't have any problems. It's all you.
Yeah.
That's how your relationship is gonna be.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, if it starts, like, if you hear the person speaking in this manner, that's how they are. That's how it's gonna be. He's not gonna fall in love with you and stop talking like that.
Right.
People with borderline personality and narcissists, that's how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nothing is their fault. Everything is you, their parents, their sister, brother. They probably don't have any friends. You're probably the only person in their life because nobody else wants to deal with them. Like, everything, and that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Damn.
And some people, get caught up in, but there's a good part of the person, a good side of the person. Well, you sit there and wait for the good side to come out when it's
convenient.
You're through being the problem for the rest of your life.
And that really breaks a person down like that.
Especially somebody who already have low self-esteem,
right?
Which is probably who they're looking for, so they can person can take the blame. Because somebody with high self-esteem is like, fuck you, it ain't my fault. It's your goddamn fault. And then here we go. And you're somebody who's going to challenge them. And narcissists don't like to be challenged at all. So, I mean, that's going to pose a problem, too. It's like, you're just supposed to be quiet, listen, I'm right. I'm telling you what's right for you.
Right.
And,
Well.
I also say too, and it sounds mean, but my boyfriend said it's not mean. I think it sounds mean, but it's the truth. I always say I want my marriage vows to say through sickness and health, not mental health. I ain't signing up for that. If something happened to you and like some kind of brain injury that makes you some kind of way, that I might be able to deal with if you're working to deal with it. If you're trying to, overcome it.
Yeah.
Not like if you're just saying, I got a brain injury, I'm just out of control and it's just how I am because of my brain injury. Nah. But if you suddenly have a gambling addiction and you're gambling away our mortgage money and our savings, I'm not doing that. I ain't signed up for that.
Right.
When I met you, you didn't have no gambling addiction. When I dated you, you didn't have. When I married you, you didn't have one. Now that we're married, I'm supposed to deal with your addiction. I ain't signed up for that.
Right.
So,
and a lot of younger couples, I think, like the onset age for schizophrenia is like in your 20s, right?
19,
so like if you're
20.
dating someone in high school and you're like, yeah, we're gonna make it, and then he goes to college and then, they have that like mental breakdown and they crack, and then it's all of a sudden it's like, why does Johnny fear the government? Why does he think the government's listening in on our conversations?
But I just think you got to be honest with yourself. I personally can't deal with it. I can't deal with nobody manic and hyper.
Yeah.
I can't deal with narcissists and borderline people who think they're the top notch of the world and everybody is beneath them. I can't deal with these people. I can't deal with addictions. It's like alcoholism.
Addiction is the worst.
And gambling and drugs. I'm not dealing with it. It's like I'm just being straightforward with you. I'm not. That's grounds for divorce for me.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we can work through a whole lot of other things, but you start gambling away my money, we ain't doing it.
Right.
It ain't happening. You start shooting drugs into your arm, it ain't happening.
Right.
So.
All right. Hey.
This article from Refinery 29, it says 21 people get real about dating people with anxiety and depression, and they asked 21 people what they wanted their partners to know about dating them with their challenges and their mental illness and what it can bring up in the relationship. And I'll just go through the list real quick. They said, I just want you to listen. Just tell me that everything is going to be okay. I don't know if I agree with that. Don't tell me to just get over it. I guess it's in reference if they're having a panic attack about something. You can tell me what I want to hear, but it won't make my mental illness magically go away.
This is true.
So it says, you could tell me you love me and tell me what you think I want to hear. I guess, but it won't make it go away. Okay. Sometimes anxiety just happens, and I can't explain why. My depression has nothing to do with your strength as a partner. I think that's important. I need you to challenge me to challenge myself. It's a lot of work. Don't assume I'm as strong as I appear. It takes time to heal. I need to work on me before bringing someone else into this mess.
That's where I was going with that.
Ask questions with an open mind. My stress evaporates once there is time to relax.
Mm.
You might never understand exactly what I'm going through. Not getting a text back from you makes me go into spirals.
Mm.
I am part of who I am. Oh, it's part of who I am. It's
Why are
all
you waiting for the text back? I'll be like, hello?
It's often not about you. Don't assume that if I'm upset, it's because I'm crazy. It can be challenging dealing with the real world and my own world. So be patient. Don't assume you know or understand. Don't pretend you have all the answers, and don't add to the problem. That's not really fair.
Damn, that's like 4 things that I just gotta sit there then, right?
Yeah.
Because the last 3 or 4 things that you read, that I can't do anything now. I just gotta sit there and just take it.
But that's the part you have to understand. I guess.
You
Or
don't have to sit there.
That's true too. That's true too.
Or you can like, how can I help you right now?
Yeah.
What do you need for me to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the way I'm saying it is the way I would actually say it. That's why I can't. I'll be like, what do you need me to do? And that's not supportive at all. You work 8-10 hours, you know, or you come home. What is the problem now? Like, I'm not the right partner for that.
Right, I feel you. Damn, that's hard.
There's not much you can like. It seems like, and the thing too is, it was one that said, "Don't let my depression make you think you're not a good partner" or something.
Yeah.
And that's really hard.
Yeah,
because sometimes it's like even like being in a regular relationship. Sometimes when I see he's like stressed out, it makes me feel really bad if there's nothing I can do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel the
And
same
I'm
way.
at the point where I'm like, and I've been really stressed out, and I've been like really upset, and like I see him like what and he's like, what do you need me to do? What do you want me to do? Let's figure this. Like I can't stand seeing you like this. Like one time he's like, I cannot stand seeing you like this. I'm like, oh, that's really nice, but that's really in my head. I'm like, I didn't really say anything out loud, but in my head I'm like, it's nothing you can do. But I'm like, it's nothing you can do. But then when I saw him kind of like stressed out and like down, I'm like, oh my God, I can't take it. Like, we got to figure this out.
Right.
I have to make this better.
No, yeah.
I can't watch you be like this.
Yeah, that's why I was like getting all depressed. Like when she was reading like the last 4 things, I'm like, damn, I can't do anything because again, I love to help my partner in that situation.
You feel like you got to fix it.
I got to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you in this state. What do you want me to do? You know, and like to, all those things. Don't do anything. Don't look at me. It's not your fault. Like,
don't tell me it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
don't
like,
tell me ain't no
all right,
wrong.
damn.
Don't tell me.
I guess I'll just watch television. You know
Like,
what
should
I'm
I leave? Like, no, I don't want to be alone.
saying?
Don't leave me alone. Don't crowd me. Don't move over. That's what I would do though. I'm like,
what?
Turn to
Something.
this channel. Let me know when you do all right. You should calm down.
Like, for real. Jeez.
And imagine all of that going on and bring a kid into it. It's like this kid screaming, I'm sorry, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
I don't have time for your panic attack, your anxiety attack. The kid got to take a bath, eat, get ready for school, all these things.
Yeah.
It's like, I ain't got time for this. And it's awful, but...
They said something like a lot of times when people take like certain like antipsychotics and antidepressant medications, like it causes like erectile dysfunction, which then in case will cause probably more depression. So they're like saying like with your sex life, like, be prepared for that.
Even certain diabetes medicine.
Yeah.
Cause it too.
So blood pressure medicine too, right?
I think
so.
I think certain medications for women can make them. Well, women can just squirt some lube down there, I guess.
Yeah. But it's just a lot. It's a lot to take on, and I think if you're like in a relationship where your partner has, various diagnoses or is really depressed or really anxious or whatever the case may be, it's important to be patient, but at the same time, I wouldn't feel guilty about, This sounds so terrible. Like, I just wouldn't feel guilty about questioning whether or not that's the relationship for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because...
Like asking somebody else, like, do
like,
you think you should be with that person?
Like, yeah, like, if you're sitting there like, I don't know how much of this I can take, and I'm starting to become depressed because I can't fix him or her.
Dealing with this.
Because it's not your job to fix him or her. Like, you know, but if you're starting to, like, break down because of it, you know, and that person, especially if that person's not doing anything to get better, you know, then you could sit there and be like...
It's like a constant.
Right.
It's like there's no, I think, especially if somebody's supposed to be taking medication and they're not, there's no good day.
Right.
Like, it's just, and the medication doesn't cure mental, especially when it comes to bipolar, because medication doesn't cure it. It might calm you down, stabilize your mood, maybe keep you from hearing voices, but you're still, like, quirky.
Yeah.
And weird and, you know, probably got a little paranoia somewhere. Like, there's still things going on.
Yeah. I would suggest that person to leave. I mean, it's going to be the hardest thing that you'll ever do because you'll feel like you're abandoning that person in their lowest, you know, but you're dying inside as well.
Yeah.
It's not this relationship is not helping you.
Damn, I feel like this was like a don't date people with mental illness podcast.
I mean, we're not advocating that, obviously. I mean, I got an article saying what to do if you have a mental illness and you want to get into a relationship, so we could turn it on its head, you know. But still, it's like, no, but that's an extreme. That's an extremity that we're talking about.
You have to understand too. Like, April and I have been doing this a long time, and like we've seen people who, like, they're not just depressed or anxious, like, they're batshit crazy.
like on a psych lock ward in the mental hospital. We've seen the whole spectrum. People that used to be lawyers and all this stuff in group homes because they drank their brain into mush and don't know the first thing about law. Like I remember this lawyer getting like maybe like I think the $1,900 limit, $1,900 a month in disability. I mean, this guy was a lawyer making tons of money, and this man couldn't tell you the first thing about law.
Damn.
The other thing, though, piggybacking off of that, is I don't think she listens to the podcast, so I don't think it's defamation of character, and it's the truth. I went to school with a girl, completely normal all through high school. When we met up in college, she admitted to us that she had a mental illness. And I guess she was, like, doing what she was supposed to be doing. She was getting her injections and everything. So she was stable. I mean, she had no affect, which means, like, you couldn't really tell if she was happy, sad. You didn't really know what was going on in there. But she had graduated from law school. She, after various tries, took the bar and passed. But she was diagnosed with bipolar, but then also was smoking marijuana, which you can't do because marijuana is a chemical and bipolar is a chemical imbalance, and that's not the way science works. So she took her thing, and then a bunch of other crap happened. She disappeared. She came back. And obviously, I don't think she's been disbarred, but I don't think she practices anymore. But she's just not well. And because she's so smart, like when she talks, because she makes videos and posts them on Facebook, like you're like, holy shit, like you think you know that something intelligent is coming out of there, but like she'll start telling you about something and like rattling off like laws and different, what are those called? Those 23.99, you know, whatever those codes are called. Like she knows what she's talking about, but then she'll like talk about it like in reference to cooking or something. Like it's just not coherent.
It's like, do we know that's what the code is? You're just throwing some numbers in front of some shit you done made
Sometimes
up.
I want to Google it. I'm like, But like, it's really, really sad. Like to see somebody like go from one thing to completely something else. And, you know, I don't know.
And it just shows how it affects people who had normal lives at one point. And like we had a co-worker who was a mental health case manager that just committed suicide.
Wow.
And he worked with the same people we work with.
Yeah.
And he knew, like, I mean, the resources, the medicine, the therapy he could have gotten. And still he just, I guess, fell into
a really deep depression.
Complete hopelessness. Like he really,
and he had people around him, but
and he was always pretty high strung, and like it was
stressed.
like a something that's maybe like not that bad to somebody else. Like you could tell with him, it was like the weight of the world was on him for something that the rest of us was like, fuck that shit. And he was like, I can't. He was just always like, very neurotic, but he was a good guy. When he lightened up, he was very funny, had a sense of humor, but it's like, you could tell like any little thing would like weigh him down. And it was, and he was like a regular dude. Like, he was mad. A brother, he had parents. He had
big
one
family.
of the parents had passed away, but he had nieces and nephews, and and it's like, so like, we've seen both ends of the spectrum. Regular people that's falling into the hole, and then people who are, what that dude in Greystone cut his mother with a machete or something.
Yeah,
I ended up on the elevator with him.
I think he was like on the church with her, and he started hearing voices. And he like stomped her out in the parking lot.
Right, and pushed her down the stairs, the church steps or something.
Jesus.
Like I'm in the elevator with him, like, Lord.
Is that the one?
Ain't my time to go.
Is that the one who had the machete in Hackensack? They kept it like behind his door, and we had people go deliver the medicine or something.
I think so.
Or deliver his check or something like that.
Wow.
Right. So
okay.
But there's another side of it too. People that are just like, I guess, bipolar. Like Jennifer Lewis was talking about being bipolar, and how she was like, that aunt or uncle that's like at the family party, like loud and dancing on top of the table, crazy drunk. She was like, they're bipolar. Like she was, and it's true. It's like when I keep hearing this story coming from guys. Like a man meets a woman. The woman's, all over the place. She's loud. She's boisterous. I guess when you meet somebody, to a man, she looks good. So her loud and boisterousness, that's just her personality. But when you come to realize she's being loud and boisterous somewhere where she's supposed to be quiet, y'all in the library, she cursing you out.
Right.
Like y'all somewhere, you at a public place, she wilding out in the parking lot, in the middle of the aisle, whatever.
Yeah.
You stay with this person has a kid, y'all together all this time, then you start seeing her cheating on her, and she's crazy. She was crazy when you met her.
Yeah.
She cursed you out 2 weeks after you met her in the middle of the aisle.
Right, yeah.
Or in the middle of the park. So I don't like the idea of people meeting people, being with them, procreating with them, and then once you ready, you see something else you like. Well, they crazy. She was crazy when
she been.
Or the guy. Sometimes women say it about guys, or he's this or that. Most likely, the person was that when you met him. So it's just about, instead of like getting to the point where I can't take it anymore, I can't take this person's insane personality anymore. It's almost like, if you see at the beginning this woman is cursing you out in middle of public places and can't control herself and all over the place and very impulsive, and like, that's the time to be like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, because the person's not trying to control themselves. They're not trying to do better. They're used to being out of control.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of bipolar people, and some people think that's the person's personality. It's not their personality. They're mentally ill. They're bipolar, and they're not taking medication for it.
Yeah. What's that cutie's name? Ryan Reynolds just came out. I don't know if it was just or it's just being publicized now, that he has really bad anxiety. And that's why it's easier for him to hide behind Deadpool, because he can't be seen. And
that's probably coming out now, probably.
Right. I also just found this article, 39 people. I'm sorry, am I cutting you off for something, Martini?
No.
Okay. 39 celebrities that have mental illness. Kendall Jenner apparently has debilitating anxiety. Says she wakes up in the middle of panic attacks.
Oh, wow.
Adele says she can slip in and out of depression quite easily. I like how she says quite easily.
She also says too that she get too anxious in front of, like, she never.
Yeah, she did say that.
Never do a stadium or.
Really? She can't do a stadium show?
She said she'll never do a show that big. Said she'll get too nervous. And there was a
Oh wow.
when she did her show that they put on TV. I don't know. She was at Radio City Music Hall.
Something. Yeah.
She got off the elevator and saw the husband and broke down. It was like, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
just like, oh my God, thank God for you. It was almost like she was so anxious, I guess, or so wound up.
Mm-hmm.
Like her nerves were so bad. It was like it was a relief for her to see him.
Wow.
And she just broke down crying.
Oh.
She also said she had really bad postpartum,
Mm.
which I guess could be classified under mental illness. I mean,
I saw that in my thing too. Yeah, postpartum.
One thing about postpartum, I didn't get it at first. Like when I heard like Brooke Shields and it's some celebrity women that's advocates of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if y'all remember, like, I don't know, it might have been 15 years ago, the lady, was she in Texas? She had 5 kids and she drowned them all.
Mm-hmm.
And she, after each one, she had postpartum depression, and the husband said he didn't believe in birth control. And the doctor told him that she should not, after like the first or second kid, no more. She really should not. She had 3 more kids and she drowned every last one of them.
Damn.
And the husband came home and they were all dead.
Oh my God.
And the lady had bad, and I didn't and I know Brooke Shields, like, she didn't want to be in the room with her kid. She didn't want to hold the kid. She didn't want to hear the kid crying. And I guess, I mean, you have that luxury if you have a nanny or something of nature. But I mean, I guess I get it a little bit. But like when you're a new mom, it's like everything is on you. It doesn't matter. Daddy can be standing there. Daddy can be involved. Anything goes wrong with that kid, it's on you.
Yeah.
And that is really, and like even people around you, mother-in-law, all these people telling you what you're supposed to be doing with your baby.
All
what
females.
you ain't doing right, and what you should be doing, and why you ain't do it this way. No, you breastfeed. No, you're not breastfeeding. You should breastfeed because of this or that. And if you're not breastfeeding, what kind of bottles you using and what kind of diapers you using. And it's just like,
shut the fuck
that will
up.
send somebody off of. You have to have the thickest skin you can muster.
Yeah.
In order to be a new mom. In order to be a mother, period.
Yeah.
Because
they all have
when your kid's
a
5,
list.
Your kid's 5, you're gonna meet that parent. What school you sending the kid to? You let your kid wear them jeans. You let your kid wear those sneakers. You let your kid. You ain't put suntan.
You let your kid have a cell phone, like
right? He got a phone. You let him. You ain't put suntan lotion on him. The sun's out. It's like every little thing is, and the first person they look at is the mother. Is the mother. No matter what happens to the kid, could be with the father. The mother at work. Where's the mother? The father lost why she let the kid go with the father? The father lost the kid. Where's the mother?
Yeah.
You know, why is she working? Why are you working? Why are you working, mom? How could you not be home raising your kid?
Yeah.
You know, it's like everything. So you really, really have to muster up everything you have in you. It's really rough. And I was sitting there one day, and like I remember I was at a doctor's appointment and he was gaining weight, and the doctor goes, "Good job, mom." And I'm like, if he wasn't gaining weight, would I be doing a bad job? You know, but it's like not good job, you guys.
Yeah.
Dad ain't got nothing to do with it. Good job, mom.
Yeah.
And it's like the first, like until that kid takes a bottle, if you're not pumping enough, you can't be half hour away from that kid when you breastfeeding.
Right.
Kid'll just scream.
Yeah.
Everything, everywhere I went before he took a bottle, I had to rush.
Well, that's why he asks you for popcorn now instead of his dad.
Right. But everywhere I had to rush back home. I couldn't be away from more than an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like everything is on you. And that's when I say I see how women get depressed.
Yeah.
I see it.
Well.
Chrissy Teigen said that she had it, and she's like, she doesn't discriminate. She's like, I have a nanny, I have my mother here, John's here. She's like, I felt selfish, and Nikki saying it out loud, but I'm struggling, and sometimes I still do.
And when you have all that, you can go in your room, close the door, put the blanket over your head, and be depressed until you decide to get up.
Yeah.
Beyonce's not saying what she has, but apparently she had something. But I don't know if I was going to tell you or I read it and I was going to tell you. I read something the other day that Beyonce's mom put both Beyonce and Solange in therapy when they were younger because Beyonce was like getting a little bit more famous than Solange. Is Solange, right?
Yeah.
I was like, why do I feel like that's not her name? Because like she was getting a little bit more famous than her sister, and she didn't want like there to be like any
animosity,
anything.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Michelle Williams says she's depressed. I get it. Miley Cyrus has depression. She probably shouldn't have been smoking weed. Maybe why she stopped.
Shouldn't have done that video with the Jordans.
What Jordans?
It was like a video and everybody had on number 23 and everybody was wearing Jordans. I forgot how the song
Yeah,
went.
I forget.
Was that when she started her twerking shit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was with Juicy J. I forget.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I forgot how the song.
Yeah.
Lena Dunham has anxiety, OCD, depression. She said she's been taking medication for 16 years.
Oh wow.
No, I'm sorry. It took her 16 years to get medicated. And she's glad she did it. It ain't about the ass, it's about the brain. She didn't want to take it because she thought it was going to make her gain weight. Dakota Johnson has full anxiety attack. How do you have full anxiety attack and you're that naked in those movies?
Mm-hmm.
What? She said that she has them all the time when she's auditioning. It's bad. She's like, I'm terrified. Demi Lovato, I think she's big on the behavioral health thing. She has...
Isn't she bipolar?
I think she is, but it's not saying that.
Oh.
Apparently Harper Bazaar doesn't want to shout out the real shit.
Yeah, I think Demi Lovato is bipolar.
Yeah, I think she is too.
I think she.
And I think she had an eating disorder, right?
I believe so.
Which is also technically a mental health disorder, well, DSM-wise anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone says she has panic attacks. Emma Stone seems like she has a little ADHD to me too. Gina Rodriguez says she has anxiety. It's the girl from...
Oh yeah, Gina. Yeah, for some reason I was thinking of damn. I can't think of her name now.
I thought she was Michelle Rodriguez's sister for about 5 minutes.
Oh.
And I looked it up one day. I was like, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Guess
Gina
not.
Rodriguez.
Carrie Fisher had a chemical imbalance, which means bipolar. That's what that means. She said she's severely manic depressant.
Yeah. Yeah, she had a lot of shit.
Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen can't be depressed. What? Ellen's depressed. Well, she's a comedian.
These are all
a lot
people,
of comedians have something.
When you hear the anxiety and these are all people who get looked at a lot.
Right.
A lot is based on their looks and their weight and their hair and their this and
Jared Padalecki.
Yeah. Supernatural.
Oh. He struggles with mental illness, depression, addiction, and having suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, he came out with that last year, and I don't know if anybody from the show didn't know, but everyone's like, "What?" And I think he was saying that he was gonna leave the show, but I don't know if he's still on the show.
The Rock is depressed.
Oh shit.
He said he got stuff when he saw his mother walk out in traffic.
She killed herself?
No,
tried
she's
to.
alive.
Oh Jesus Christ!
She tried to. That's when he said he started suffering with it.
Yeah.
Lily Reinhart gets panic attacks and she has anxiety. Nicki Minaj said that she contemplated suicide a couple times. Amanda Siegfried, she said she's on Lexapro and she'll never get off it. She's been on it since she was 19. Damn. She's been on it since she was 19. So 11 years. I'm on the lowest dose. I don't see the point in getting off it, whether it's a placebo or not. I don't want to risk it. What are you fighting against? Just the stigma of using a tool.
I think Peter Rosenberg said he'd take that.
Lexapro?
I think so.
For depression, probably?
One of those. Was it? What's the Abilify?
Abilify?
He might have said I think it was that one.
It's more for anxiety, I think. Lady Gaga has depression and anxiety. She also, I think I read before that she has she had really bad social anxiety. That's why when she first came out, she came out weird.
Always covered.
Yeah, like Sia. Sia has anxiety, I think, too. Winona
and
Ryder.
She said, too, Sia said she's so rich from the songs she's written, she wants to keep her anonymity. She don't want people to see her when she know who she is. She likes the...
That's why she keeps covering her face with the wig or her hair or whatever.
That's a wig.
Yeah.
And even though there's pictures, she said when she inside industry parties and stuff, she's herself. She doesn't.
Oh yeah.
But it's just when she outside, when she performing.
Yeah.
But even you'd have to be at the industry. But I've seen pictures of her.
Oh, her
without
face?
her face.
Oh yeah.
I still wouldn't know her walking.
I
down
wouldn't
the street.
either.
Like
I've never seen her face before.
It has to be burned into your brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we see Rihanna's face all the time.
Yeah.
So if you see Rihanna,
Yeah.
like, is that Rihanna? Or The Rock, or one of those people you see them.
Right.
All, but see, you know, it's here and there. You see a picture of her. She could be behind me in Starbucks. I wouldn't know.
Right.
No, to me, she looks a little bit like a Staro. Winona Ryder has.
She does.
Yeah, right? She has depression.
We know that when your ass was stealing. talking about some method acting. Your ass klepto.
Olivia Munn has OCD.
I can see that.
From looking at her.
No,
Okay.
no.
Martini, like she look like she got OCD.
Nah, I can
Because
see
she's too
that.
perfect.
Well, sometimes
see
the
that.
parts these people play is very close to who they are. Sometimes,
Yeah, I was just thinking about Office Christmas Party, where like she had to be in her locked office at all times.
And if you think about Winona Ryder, like a lot of her movies, she's weird.
Yeah.
All the movies, Beetlejuice, like Girl Interrupted, she's always some weird character.
Ellie Goulding has panic attacks.
Oh.
J.K. Rowling has depression. She said it's hard to describe depression to someone who's never been there because it's not sadness, but it's the cold absence of feeling. It's that really hollowed out feeling. Damn. Selena Gomez says she has panic attacks and depression. She thinks it's a side effect of the lupus, which presents her own challenge. She takes time off every now and then. Sarah Silverman, another comedian, has panic attacks and depression. Nobody's like giving us the good stuff here.
What do you want?
I want to know who's like schizophrenic. It's the stuff that really gets me going.
I don't think
Zayn Malik.
Yeah.
That's why we can never be married. I can't pronounce your name. I guess he has anxiety. He says sometimes he has irrational thoughts.
Sometimes everybody have irrational thoughts.
Right.
Like I feel like sometimes they take a little snippet of something somebody said in an interview. Like if somebody said like, "Oh, sometimes before I go on stage, I get really anxious." Like a lot of people get really anxious before they go into like in front of 100,000 people.
That's a regular feeling.
And some people don't. Some people walk out there. Beyonce becomes Sasha Fierce, and she's good. But sometimes, but some people who get anxious, they still go out there and kill it.
Yes.
It's like your anxiety is not handy. That's why
It's
I
not
don't
a
know if they
hindrance.
would be diagnosed necessarily.
Yeah.
Because it's not keeping you from going on stage. It's not like, listen, you booked this gig.
Mm-hmm.
They paid you. Get your ass on stage. I can't do it. Pay them back. I owe them the money.
Yeah,
Let them sue me.
Yeah.
Like that's hindering you from your livelihood.
Yeah.
But when you get on the stage and kill it, I mean, I don't know if you can be diagnosed with
What
it.
does Kerry Washington have? Because this article doesn't make sense. She's like, I say that publicly because I think it's important to take the stigma away from mental health, but
It doesn't say
what that is. Gwyneth Paltrow had postpartum. I thought she adopted. Never mind.
She had him with the dude from Coldplay. I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Apple and Moses.
Oh yeah.
He said Apple. I knew Apple. I didn't know the other one name was Moses.
I think, isn't it? I know.
It
I know.
might be.
I know the first one is definitely Apple.
Yeah.
I think the other one is Moses. I think so.
Halle Berry contemplated
Apple.
suicide after her divorce.
Which divorce?
Damn, April.
Wasn't she? I was
Shots
curious.
fired.
Because the baseball player was beating her. That's why I was wondering which one. David Justice. He used to hit her.
I was sitting in my car and I knew the gas was coming out when I had an image of my mother finding me. Damn,
Who
Halle.
said that?
Halle.
Halle Berry? Oh.
She's like, so much she sacrificed for her children, and I would end my life with such an incredibly selfish thing to do. It was all about a relationship. My sense of worth was so low.
Because I was thinking, too, when she married Olivier, she had the kids. So I'm like, that's why I'm like, which divorce? Because the second divorce, now you got children. But the first divorce, she didn't have no kids with the baseball player.
Postnatal depression, I guess, is what they call postpartum
Yeah.
in England, because Princess Diana had it.
Oh, wow.
They call diapers nappies, and they don't say stroller. They say something else. I forgot. It's not stroller. They call it. I forgot what they call it. And they call they don't say trunk. Oh, what do they say?
Oh, right.
They don't say trunk.
Nah, they don't say
Trunk of
trunk.
the car. They boot. Do they call it boot?
I don't know. I forget.
Boot something weird.
It's definitely not trunk. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call it.
Yeah.
Superfan Sam, weigh in on this, please.
I read.
She's yelling at us right now. So.
I know. Prince Harry said he had really bad depression after his mom died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Carly Devine, I don't know who that is.
So yeah. Speaking of, what are you wearing on Saturday, April?
We're going to a walk.
What else happened Saturday?
Did the royal wedding, son?
Oh, what I'm wearing to the royal wedding? I got my Vera Wang couture. I got fitted yesterday. So.
All right. You going to a walk? That's good. That's great. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, I think we raised about $1,000.
That's awesome because my friends are greedy. I'm gonna hit my boyfriend up for some money.
Yeah, we raised about $1,000. I did pretty good.
Nice. If anyone on Bed Love Beyond would like to donate to the Lupus Walk, hit us up. It's for a good cause, damn it. Katy Perry's depressed, and Daya, she has anxiety. Kristen Stewart, anxiety. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Let me ask Google.
Ask Google what? What celebrities have mental illness?
Okay, Google. What celebrities have schizophrenia?
Here's a summary from online-psychology-degrees.org. 20 famous people with schizophrenia. Sid Barrett, 1946 to 2006. Lionel Aldridge, 1941 to 1998. Professional football player Charles Buddy, Bolden, 1877 to 1931.
He probably had CTE.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy from the mathematician, Beautiful Mind.
Oh.
He was schizophrenic.
Let me see the list.
I met a comedian once. His name is Smokey.
He just got out of the hospital.
Smokey did? What
yeah.
happened to him?
It's on Instagram. Something happened to his neck.
Oh, Smokey was at it's a place in West Orange. Allegedly, Whoopi is one of the owners.
Oh yeah.
Up the street from her house. It's called 466.
Yeah, I think so.
466.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody I knew was having was promoting comedy shows there. So Smokey's the host. Smokey comes up. I went to one by myself, one with Jen. Smokey comes out. He comes off stage. I'm standing there. He stands to me. Hi, how you doing? So I was like, started talking to him. Couldn't look me in the face. Visibly nervous. I mean, not that I'm Rihanna, but I was cute that night. But still, like, visibly like nervous. Like, I guess just stranger.
Yeah.
I'm a stranger. Visibly nervous. Could barely like look me in the eye. Talk. He was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Got on stage. Turned it right off.
Damn.
And I was like, I was really amazed. I'm like that, but allegedly Janet Jackson's that way too. Very shy, very, very introverted. She gets on stage and she's like, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
But that's how he got back on stage, completely turned it off.
Damn.
And I was like, that is a true professional.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you could tell, like, it wasn't like he's in your face, like he is on stage.
Yeah.
It was insane. I'm like, I never saw anything like that. You don't see that in person.
Yeah.
We watch TV, you just see them on the stage already.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people, like, I feel like a lot, like Martin Lawrence. He's very, like, you see people compliment him and stuff. He puts his head down. He's very shy.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he's shy.
Mm-hmm.
And these people get on stage and turn it right off. That's what I'm like. You might have anxiety and panic attacks, but when you, and I know it doesn't matter the income bracket and where you live and where you grow up, but sometimes though, when you think about that check, you get yourself together.
That's true too. Yeah.
John Nash, that's the scientist's name, mathematician. Daryl Hammond, he used to be on SNL. He has schizophrenia. Sorry, I don't know why I'm really interested in this. A lot of people who are no longer with Skip Spence don't know you, buddy. Sorry. Who's that? Jean Eliza Tierney, American film. Nope. Don't know them. Vincent Van Gogh had schizophrenia. He cut off his ear. What the fuck do you expect?
It was for love.
Somebody told him to do it. Whatchamacallit had schizophrenia? Donny Hathaway.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys has schizophrenia.
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
Donny Hathaway's wife said she believed he was pushed out of the hotel window.
Oh, well.
Then there's people that believe he was like really in a bad place. So almost. I listening to the story, I think he jumped. Push him out the window for what? Who pushed him? I can see they were robbing him or something. You think this Donnie Hathaway, he got money.
Yeah.
You're going to rob him, push him out the window. But it didn't seem like it was a robbery. Like, why would somebody push him out the window? I think he jumped. They was like, I think like a few days before that, like the white, the TV fuzzy.
Yeah.
And he saw it and like ran in the corner, crouched down in the corner, freaking out because he heard voices in the TV.
Oh, shit.
And now I think that was a few days before he died. He was like in bed,
Just the compensating.
And the wife wasn't, she wasn't able. She did all she could. It was like really tough on her.
Yeah.
And they end up separating, of course, because he's.
Maybe she said he was pushed because of like insurance purposes. Because isn't it like if you commit suicide, you can't. That person doesn't get like the life insurance policy.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I watched that on SVU, I think. I don't know. What else you got, Martini? I'm tapped out.
Oh, that's it. I mean, you guys had more than enough material. It's all good.
So.
That's it.
Hug someone with depression and with schizophrenia. Call the helpline.
Would you date somebody, Martini, with a?
I did.
Illness?
I did. My ex fiance had depression. She suffered from depression, and she took pills. So
what kind of would she like go into a deep depression, lights off, or was she
no,
more functioning?
No, not like that. She told me that she was worse off before me, so I didn't see like the worstness of it. But yeah, there would be some times where I just thought that like, yeah, maybe something happened during the day that it was because of me or something like that. But no, she was just like, no, I'm just like depressed. And I couldn't figure it out until she like told me like, no, I have depression. I'm like, oh, okay. But her telling me it didn't mean that like, oh, now I know what to do. I'm just like,
Right.
okay, just
Now what?
just help me out. You know what I mean? So
How far into the relationship did she say I have depression?
I don't. For some reason in my head, I feel it's 2.5 years, so halfway.
Oh, okay.
Halfway
Surprise!
into it. Yeah, halfway into it, like she told me.
How did you feel about not knowing from the beginning?
I mean, it's not like.
Even though it didn't make a difference, it didn't push you away.
It wasn't like I was mad, like like I caught her cheating with somebody, like what, or like you've held this from me from, I was just like, oh, okay, now backtracking, I see.
Right,
The
like you
patterns.
didn't feel like it was a lie.
Yeah. I see the patterns now. All right. Well, okay. Well, so we'll just deal with it. So.
I think the problem is there's so much stigma about all mental illness that even though some people are coming out and talking about it more, like especially when you're in a relationship, you don't know if it's going to affect the relationship, if that person's going to judge you or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah.
2 years. That's a long time.
April's like, I'd be pissed.
I would, just because I'm kind of like, this is who I am. Take me or leave me.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not how everybody is. But
Right.
then I'm gonna feel a little salty because I'm like, well, I kind of thought you were that way because I kind of wouldn't have picked you. Obviously, I might have been mistaken because 3 years later, you come telling me about some shit.
Yeah.
You should have told me about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I get not feeling necessarily bamboozled in a sense. Cause
I guess if it wasn't really like, poking out at you.
And it's something she was taking care of. You said she was taking medication for it. So
Yeah.
it's not like,
And I mean, well, it is not a part of her personality, but you think that's just how you are.
You're just not in the mood.
Yeah, as opposed to
Right.
like, oh no, this is it. This is the source. So.
So don't be so hard on yourself.
What?
I said don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, I mean, I'm not. I mean, like I said, it wasn't like, I used to think that it was me or whatever, but like once we got that thing, I was like, oh, okay, that's why. All right, I understand now. So, yeah.
I don't have any songs about this.
We're still doing it?
I don't know.
We stopped that a long time ago.
You just stop having songs.
That's it. I mean, it's all right.
A song for the subject?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you got, April?
Adele's Hello. Hello, are you talking to me or are you talking to people in your head?
That's true.
Yeah, there you go. April brought it back. There you go. But yeah, have you dated somebody with a mental illness? Do you have one? What's going on? You can definitely write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com. You can go to our website for many articles that we've talked about on the show. You can go to www.bedlovebeyond.com. You can give us a phone call or text us at 201-862-8-BED. That is 201-862-8233. You can go to our Facebook, facebook.com/bedlovebeyond, or you can follow us at bedlovebeyond on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. Thank you, April, for being on the show.
Stranger in My House by Tamia. Is it a stranger in your house? Or are you imagining strangers?
Or does she just not know him anymore because now he's gone batshit crazy?
Right. And now you're a stranger because you was normal 2 years ago.
I just feel like I need to say it before we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe, I won't even speak for April. You can add yourself into this if you like. I just feel like because, like, we've been in the field for so long, and, like, I've dated some people on the bipolar, narcissistic, wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that spectrum over there,
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. Don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
I'll become homicidal. And then I'll be in a mental health clinic.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good idea.
Right.
So I don't want to. I feel like I still kind of feel like we're like, don't date crazy people. But
Right.
it's more like just my experiences that have made me feel more that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think everyone needs to find their own personal balance of what they are comfortable with.
And with what April was saying, the sooner you know, the better. Like,
Yeah, you have to
don't
kinda
you know?
be upfront
Let me
about it.
let me know what you are, what you're about.
I don't
Let
know if
the
that's
person
first.
choose.
You think that's first date conversation?
I mean, maybe not the first date, but maybe the
Third.
second or third. Like, I mean, maybe depending on where the conversation goes.
Mm-hmm.
But let the person choose. Like, maybe the person had a bipolar family member that they didn't necessarily have a bad experience with, and they're like, you know what, my family member has it and they doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, you know. But it's just how you bring it up too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm bipolar, so
Yeah. Can I have?
I might go crazy tomorrow. Like, don't tell
Right.
somebody that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know when you should bring it up. I mean, but I mean, the sooner, like you said, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Like, give the person a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely give the person a choice.
Yeah. But all right, that is the end of the show. I'm Martini.
Still Jen.
All right, see you guys
Or
later.
Laurel.
All right, peace.
Never done that before.
Yo, damn, you see, I'm recording right now. I'm putting it, but damn, we missed it.
Wait, so you cut it across?
Yeah. Sometimes diagonal, sometimes across. In the middle of the bread.
That makes me uncomfortable.
Cutting through the middle of a slice of bread?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like a half, not like a separation.
I never in my 34 years.
What?
I just ain't never did it. I mean, yeah.
Here's my phone.
Oh God! All right, this is a debate now. Wow.
First it was the pink and white sneaker. Now you cut your bread.
Because it's still a half a piece of bread.
No, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I've never seen it done like
Really?
like horizontally from left
side
to
to
right.
side.
From side to
Right.
side. Nah. I've always seen straight down, top down, top to bottom, or diagonal. That's crazy. Nah, I've never seen the other way that way.
That's so funny. What an interesting conversation.
Yeah, you see, that's crazy.
All right.
No.
So you cut it like number 2?
Yes.
What?
Wait, hold on.
Especially grilled cheese.
Let me see.
She said especially
Yeah.
Wait.
1 or 2.
I don't see what.
That's top to bottom.
Yeah.
That's side to side. Yeah.
Oh, it is side to
I've
side.
never
Yes.
done number 3 before
Oh,
in
okay.
my life.
It's side to side, but they're showing it up, down. That's why I
Yeah.
was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
2 and 3 looks the same. Okay, I get you. I get it.
Yeah.
So you do 2.
Because I guess 3 is giving you longer pieces.
Yes.
But I don't know.
They
if
usually cut grilled cheese like 3.
Okay.
But
I mean 1.
But I don't
Yes.
feel like number 3 is like as comfortable in your hand.
Do you feel like you're...
Okay.
I feel like it's longer than like if you holding a half a sandwich like this. I feel like it's
yes. It
longer
yes. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I think I do diagonal more than anything, more than half. I mean,
Right.
More than I
Yeah.
always tend to
I've
cut
never
diagonal.
cut it that way.
Because I think diagonal gives you the most.
You know you're
in your
still
hand.
getting like the same amount of
Right. Still eating a whole 2 slices of bread. That's
Right.
funny.
Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
That is hilarious.
Damn. All right.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah. Well, we already started, but I mean, let's get really, really started. So,
Do you have to do your intro?
I'm about to do it right now. I just had to catch as much as that weird ass conversation as possible. That's pretty funny, but.